crawl it on the bottom and just let it slither down the stones. And you can still catch calico bass in January, February, in the winter months when most people are just thinking rock fishing and whatnot. You know, you can still go out there and have a good time catching calico bass, sand bass, and you'll catch all kinds of stuff, halibut. You know, when I'm fishing bass, I end up catching pretty much everything. You know, cabezons and you name sheephead. Love these things.
You bounce those when you're going for halibut?
You know what? I just work it usually the same way. I'll either crawl it really slow, just flip it out, and then just really like, I mean, I'm crawling in the winter when it's 50 degrees down there. I'm just crawling it like so.
Oh.
You know, and then another method is
yeah. Halibut like that better, don't they?
Well, either way, they'll eat it. Either way, if you're in the right area, you know, they'll take something like that.
And that skirt on it?
Yeah. I don't know if they have it here, right? With the skirts on it, the legend head.
No, they don't have the skirts.
They don't have the skirts here, but he does make them with the skirts on it, like this.
Yeah.
And then
that's one of those products coming soon, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You don't have one you can hand out?
Yeah.
I have one that you can see, but not one that you can buy.
Yeah, something else. I know this is kind of excessive. I do this, but this is what I fish. And I'll fish like a creature, you know. I'll fish something like that. You know, it looks like a baby lobster, you know, something. And you know, they love it.
What kind is it?
This is called the tiki bug, you know. But you know, any kind of creature, you know, back here, you know, even a gulp, you know.
Yeah.
Like a single tail long gulp, you know, with something like this in the winter months, go off a dead. I mean,
off of jetties too?
You can go off a jetty. You don't need a boat, you know. You can walk off the jetty and have a great time, you know, and just, you know, fish any of the Gorilla jetties, San Pedro, anywhere you want. If you have a boat and you're lucky to own a boat, just go to the break wall and have a good time.
Now that the summer's around the corner, same setup?
No. This is, I like, come winter, early spring, you know, depending on what the water temp is, you know, like if the water's cold, I'll go with the creature because they're not going to be too active to come up and eat like a swim bait. Just bringing it back to the boat. Right?
And how much are those? About $5, $6?
Yeah, somewhere around there, you know. But like I said, you know, you can incorporate the gold, any of your favorite plastic, you know, just think of like a crab, what they're eating in the, you know, and whatnot. And then around summertime, you know, sand bass spawn and whatnot. If you go on a party boat, you know, I'll go to like a pulley tail like so, you know. You don't necessarily need the weed guard. You can just pull it out.
Yeah.
You know, that's the good thing about these. If I need them, they're there. If I don't, I just yank them out.
But you use that color a lot?
I use a lot of natural bait stuff in the summer, you know. I really like the natural stuff in the summer.
Are you putting bait on that?
No.
No.
I'm not at all. You can add a strip of squid and to entice it, and that's fine too. You know, because at times it does matter. You know, and then when stuff really starts going in July and August and stuff, you know, I get away with something bigger. You know.
What would you use right now if you went to the beach?
I would use. We were just out and we were fishing stuff like this. Yeah, we were getting bit like doubles. Just they're up. Right now they're starting to spawn. Right now it's transitioning right now. So there's the calico bass are starting to spawn right now. They're really getting active. Things are really starting to happen right now. You know, so.
So it's like on a party boat or whatever.
Like on a party boat, definitely.
Yeah.
I'd be fishing something like this.
Yeah.
You know? And reason being is, you know, this year looks like we're gonna have an El Nino. You're not gonna see a lot of sardines. I haven't heard of any really. It's gonna be a mackerel or anchovy from, you know.
Yeah.
And you guys
and
know
they
how
want
hard it is
bigger
to cast
bait.
an anchovy, right?
Yeah.
And if you want to be like the other 30 guys around the boat, you know, with an anchovy in the bottom, it doesn't really separate you from anybody else on the boat.
Yeah.
And something like this, you can just kind of cover like, you know, anywhere from when it hits the water to, you know, like you cover the whole water column, you know, depending on where they're anchored, 50, 60 feet. You know, and you'll see guys on the boat catch them like,
exactly.
You know, they're chumming for them, right?
Yeah.
And everybody has their weights on the bottom, waiting like this.
Yeah.
You're missing.
Yeah.
You know, so something like this, you know, definitely something to have in your arsenal for sure.
That lead head, is it special for kelp?
It is. It is. And something else for the kelp. I have a little top shop, a little leader.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm fishing the kelp, I'll tie it straight to the braid.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because the thing is, when you do hook a good one,
Yeah.
you don't want to get kelp. Like,
Yeah.
this is not going to help you.
Yeah.
This braid will actually cut through the kelp to help you get
Right
it.
on.
Yeah.
And what do you use? Like 65 pounds?
65 is about,
Yeah.
65 is a really good 60. I use 65 Power Pro on these.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, it just depends where I'm at, you know.
Uh-huh.
You know, and
So you're gonna skunk the guy anyway. You know, the other guys are gonna get using little teeny bait and you're
Can I see
using
that
that.
head?
Sure.
Closer?
yeah.
What's the name?
Yeah, they have them actually here. Yeah.
What kind of fish is that work for again?
This is for like bass fishing, calico bass, and sand bass. But now, coming around for tuna season, right? All right. Let's say you got 40-pound, bluefin.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to be the 15th person that casts an anchovy this big to it, or do you want to grab like a swim bait, and just get on the corner on the slide, and then just flip it on the corner of the slide and just let it go.
Yeah.
And you'll get, you have a better profile bait, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna probably be maybe not the first, or the troll guy's gonna be first, but you'll be one of the first bait guys to get bit on something like this. And the way I like to do it, like on the slide, is when I flip it out there, and then just let it go for a little bit, and just thumb it, hold it for a second, and what that does, it just keeps it right there and just keeps it swimming. And then if you don't get bit right away, let it go for another 10, 15 seconds, hold it again, and you'll feel them just.
Boom.
Yeah, so this is,
Right on.
you can fish tuna on the
I
slide.
did
with this.
that about 4 years ago with plastics.
Yeah.
But it was a blue and white, and then
Yeah.
about 2 years ago I did it. Blue and white didn't work anymore.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You
Well,
gotta
good thing is
change
we
up
make them
on
in different
colors,
colors,
huh?
Yeah,
just
yeah.
for that.
But I only had two.
You know?
Because it works so good the first
There, there's some really good natural colors, like this right here.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just amazing. You just. And I think this year's going to be crucial to have something like this for those tuna guys, because I think you're going to see anchovies all year long, and that's fine. But I mean, with this you can get away with 40, 50 pounds. So you can get them and just. You can put 2, 3 fish on the boat before the guy with an anchovy and
Without that
15-pound
cup.
test is just hanging on and can't even pull on them.
But without that cup guard.
Yeah, either it's not going to do anything, but
Yeah.
you can just pull them off.
It's worth the investment to buy
But the
bass
good thing is,
bait.
if you go tuna fishing once or twice a year,
Yeah.
like if not, then you still have the weed guard, to fish locally.
I'm
And,
with it,
yeah, so bet the both world here. Let's see. Any questions before?
Are these the poles, your actual poles that you
These
use?
are the ones I use. Yes.
Like what kind of tension is on there? Is that, like, do they look pretty,
There's no tension on this. I butt myself down.
but those aren't snapped, they look a little thin. Like I'm over here with the thick, medium, heavy pole.
Yeah, the style of fishing that I do for tournament fishing is, there's like no finesse, I'll use a 40, 50, 60 pound leader, and the reason is because I gotta get them from like we're fishing in really, really shallow, we fish calico bass, and I gotta get him, you're talking, they're like in this much bit of water, like 30 feet that way, so I gotta get them to come to me. So I just need to just keep my rod up high and really just crank them in. This one is, it's 8 feet. Yeah. And the only reason I use the longer stuff, most of the guys that fish a circuit, they fish shorter rods. But me being shorter, I need the height leverage myself, because if I had a short rod and I yank on him, all I'm doing is just pulling them in the rock every time. So like this, I keep them up high and I just keep them going. I can keep them out of the rocks. Like if you're tall, like 6.5 feet, then you can get away with a 7 foot. I can.
But you feel a better balance with that, a thinner top too.
Yeah. For me, I like the longer stuff because I need to be able to cast as far as I can to get in tight as I can. And I also need that height.
Please up 398, please up 398,
Use that if you're going deep though. Say you want to competition, just going out.
No, sometimes, no. But see, even in competition, we still, like, in the winter months, we have tournaments all year round. So that's what I'm saying, like, in the winter months, I'll fish, I'll fish this, but instead of this, this is a 1 ounce. Instead of 1 ounce, I'll use a 2 ounce. I'll connect it straight to my braid, and I'll go punching right through the kelp, or what we call dumpster diving. and that's what we're doing. It's not the, I mean, it's not the funnest way to get them, but it's very effective. And now with these new weed guards and stuff, you know, this is a real heavy duty weed guard. You can, I mean, you get a 2 ounce and you can just pothole and just go right in the kelp, just drop nothing. And you want to pick the bigger stalks of the kelp and just right alongside of it, and you'd be amazed how many fish you can catch. Big ones too. And this just looks like a crab falling. Yeah, in the kelp, and you got like all kinds of kelp crabs, all kinds of stuff living. And you got the best of both worlds. You got the swim bait, you got the, you know, you got the little skirt here, so it looks like a crab. It still looks like a bait fish. Very effective. But for that, I'll use a 2 ounce. So the 2 ounce here, and just like this, and just pothole.
That's the only way.
Yeah, straight to braid.
Those ones that you guys are using, those are the best ones on the market, I think. Those
very,
heads, you know.
Yeah, they're very.
Because I've used those a lot.
Yeah.
I bought like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, you know, a buddy of mine that runs the Long Beach Bowls, he started using them now.
Yeah.
And the, you know,
Well, the
they
color's
really like,
good.
They
The
really like the
colors-
colors and stuff.
Yeah,
you know,
the
not
color's
just the
good.
solid colors are really nice.
Yeah.
When you're spending your money, you might.
Because my cousin makes lead heads,
Yeah.
and he gives them to me, and I tried painting and stuff like that. That's just too much.
Yeah, those
But
Long Beach guys right now,
those
they
ones
swear by like a chartreuse
Yeah,
color. You know,
yeah.
like
That orangish color I use
Yeah.
a lot, and the chartreuse and
yeah,
white.
yeah, and that's what
And
we
the
have.
eyes
Like
are
the Long
nice,
Beach
yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Something about sand bass, they love that
Yeah.
chartreuse color. You know. So, any questions from anyone? Yeah.
Why do you, so how come you type directly with braiding? You don't have like a shop leader or anything?
Because you, in pond fishing in the kelp, you want to be able to cut through the kelp. If you use a shark leader,
Yeah.
you probably won't get that fish out. You know, I fished it many times, and it just does not work. When you fish straight braid, you'll get them. It'll tear through the kelp. You can get them all the way up.
So should you set the drag less then when you do that, or you?
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I just use brute force. Yeah. Yeah, there's no finesse in that kind of fishing. No. Yes, sir.
What knot do you use if you go straight braid?
Straight braid? Good question. Because it will slip on you.
Yeah.
So a Palomar knot is probably one of the best knots. But all I can say is when you're tying it, it's an easy knot. But just be careful you don't twist it exactly. You know, it takes a couple seconds, but it also takes a couple seconds to mess that easy knot up.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in a hurry. But just if you tie it correctly, it's 100% knot. It really is. Any other questions?
Does braid color make a difference? The color of the braid? The color of the braid line you use?
I use the moss screen, but I also, when I go tuna fishing, for some reason I use all white. I use Jerry Brown. I don't know why, just preference, I guess. You know.
Yeah, with the top shot?
Yeah, I use always a top shot.
Floral?
Yeah.
Do you, when you get done, do you like take like Simply Green or anything and wash your line?
I just rinse it down, but
Or
every
just
once in a
rinse it
while,
real good?
yeah, there is a spray. We spray even on this stuff. We'll spray a little bit of the Kevin Van Dam spray on it. On mono, like especially Maxima, that has a lot of memory, and you know, any line that has a lot of memory in it,
Yeah.
you want to put that conditioner on. Yeah, but everyone, like, I'll still do it on this, just because you should never cast when your line is dry.
Yeah.
You know, or you get a water bottle and just simply
Yeah.
a little bit. You know, if you don't have the
Because
conditioner.
that salt gets into that braid, and after a while, I know
Right.
guys that I laugh at them, you know,
Yeah.
because
PowerPro did a better job. Like the first generation was too like waxy, was starting to dig
Yeah.
in and stuff. But I think they did a better job with it. You know, and you know, it's just a preference on whatever braid. There's a lot of other braids out there. You know, this is you know what I've been using, but you know, some guys don't like this is like a waxy braid, and there's some that's not waxy. You know, so.
Is that the super slick 8 or
No, and just so you know, Super Slick 8 does not work in kelp. It doesn't cut kelp. it helps you cast better, but it will not cut. So I don't really recommend the slick eight just because like say you want to cast it whatever, and then say you just cast out one of these little plastic, and you're catching smaller bass, and then all of a sudden you catch a white sea bass because you'll catch everything right with the plastic. And then if you have to braid, you can still get him out if he gets you wrapped up in kelp. And real quick, has been this contraption right here. And it's not
I've been in the bikes. I've been in the bikes.
You know, I get a lot of heat for throwing this thing. They said, "What's next, dynamite?" But very effective, very effective. You know.
I watched it on TV today.
No, this is totally legal. This is totally legal, yeah. And
Tell
you
them
can
how
actually
much it costs.
now in salt water you can use water. Not fresh water. You got to read your regulations. Some will let you use 3, some will let you use 2. So if you decide to fish something like this, just be careful. This one has 3, and what I did here, these are 3/8 Phenix heads. And up here I put some owner screws and just put the plastics like so, right? So the weighted, when you cast it, it'll land like so. Most likely this one will get bit almost every time, right? But if not, these down here will always get bit here. And very, very effective. I mean, freshwater guys have been using it for a long time. I think within the last 2 or 3 years, saltwater guys have been using it. In the last year, it's been like, if you're fishing a tournament, you better have it. You want to win.
You bought that right there?
No, you make it small. Like you can, I mean, they sell them, but you just have to. I pull off a lot of the hardware because most of them are made for freshwater, and since I'm fishing saltwater, I want like stainless components. The split rings. They'll start opening up and. All kinds of stuff was happening to me at the beginning, like I'd make a cast and a piece of an arm would go that way. And I don't know if you guys caught the show today on Anglers Chronicle today. I was throwing this and I had a double